Hello and welcome to another episode of Moments of Consequence, our battle report series. Tonight we have a 3,000 point battle between Jake and Casey and their beautifully painted armies, featuring not one but two dragons. 3,000 points take the field, Blood Dragon Undead versus the Wood Elves. Hope you enjoy, friends.
Okay, we have a 3,000 point take the field Blood Dragon Vampire Count army lined up against a Savage Wood Elf army. Casey, let's go over what you got.
So we've got Sisters of the Thorn, and then behind them, Warhawk Riders with the champion, Treekin, 5 War Dancers with additional hand weapons and a hero with them, a Tree Man. We've got a unit of 12 archers with a wizard on a unicorn, level 3 gray on a unicorn, and also joined by a level 1 high magic mage. Behind that, the Forest Dragon with a hero on top, and then the Rangers, 17 Rangers joined by a Wood Elf Lord, and then 5 War Dancers with shields, though it looks like they have additional hand weapons, 12 archers, and 10 Glade Riders.
Also, 5 Way Watchers in the woods. And then on the Vampire Count side, we got 6 Vampire Knights, a Vampire Count on a Zombie Dragon, some Skeletons with Halberds, some Whites with Halberds, Whites with Shields, and a Vampire Lord, Zombies and a Necromancer Lord, Ghouls, and Skeleton Horsemen. Alrighty, we just played complete turn 1, so Undead got the first turn. Dragon Princess moved up. Zombie Dragon moved up. Skeletons started moving towards the wood where the Way Watchers are. One of them got hit by an Impaler. And let's see. Not too much happened. During the very first magic phase, the level 1 with the Staff of Three Sisters spelled the Raise Dead spell. And then the Wood Elves, the Treeman and Dragon kind of moved moved up where they're not in the line of sight of the Zombie Dragon. Other units moved accordingly. The one thing that happened on the Undead turn 1 is they charged these Skeleton Horsemen charged the Glade Riders, who did fire and flee, and then they moved here in the Wood Elf turn 1. So in the Wood Elf turn 1, the Doom Riders actually got shot up down to only 5 left, but in the Wood Elf magic phase, a really good summon Skeletons raised 6 of them back. So undoing a lot of the Wood Elf shooting phase. Other spells were mostly dispelled each other's other casting attempts. So here's where things stand at the end of turn 1. No units have been eliminated. Have there been any Wood Elf casualties?
Not yet.
Not a single elf has but a scratch on him. And yeah, just a couple Whites down, a couple Skeletons down, Skeleton Horsemen down, and then 1 wound on the Zombie Dragon from the Wood Elf Lord's
Bow of
Lauren, yeah. Okay, so we just had Undead turn 2. The Vampire Knights are thinking they can't really avoid getting charged by the dragon, so they're gonna just face off with him. These Skeletons are slogging very slowly into the forest, looking to clear it of Way Watchers. The Skeleton Horsemen, aka the Doom Riders, moved up, and then in the magic phase were Van Hells to charge the archers who fled. Also in the magic phase, this unit of zombies was risen from the dead. The big move of the turn was the Zombie Dragon charging into the Rangers with the Wood Elf Lord General. there was a challenge declared by the noble vampire knight, and it was declined by the cowardly elf. And the vampire knight was so taken aback by this blatant cowardice that he fumbled all of his attacks, or almost all of them. So did his steed, and only 3 rangers were killed. The vampire was actually wounded by a ranger, so it was a tied combat. And in the magic phase, the zombies and the Van Hells were the spells that got off. Okay, so Wood Elf turn 2, definitely a big turn. So the dragon and warhawks charged the blood knights. The dragon just rolled incredibly, made my zombie dragon really jealous. So in the end, 2 blood knights were killed, and 1 warhawk rider was killed. Sisters of the Thorn swung way around the flank. Treeman moved to the center. These units moved up. The Glade Riders attempted to charge the Skeleton Horsemen, but failed their fear check. And in the magic phase, combination of Fiery Convocation and Doomfire Ring lit up a whole bunch of the Skeleton Horsemen. The big news was this combat with the Rangers, Zombie Dragon, Vampire Count, and the Wood Elf General. In the end, the Vampire was struck from his saddle by a nameless ranger. The Zombie Dragon went berserk, and the Rangers failed their break test. Actually, the Zombie Dragon rolled terrible. He killed like 1 guy. The Vampire had killed 3, I think, before he died. So the combat actually only won by 1. I'm kind of like, so yeah, they only won by 1. Casey failed his break test. Zombie Dragon ran them down. His result was high on the monster reaction table, so he's going to continue to attack the nearest enemy. Luckily for Casey, this unit passed their panic check. And then in the magic phase, this unit of skeletons was raised, which is going to be able to charge them, though, in the flank. So they're in hot water. The War Dancers here took out the zombies that had been raised. And Casey destroyed another one of my spells. He destroyed Van Hells. So too many spells have been destroyed for my taste. Yeah. End of turn 2. Hey, turn 3, Undead, was no less cool than Wood Elf turn 2. So what happened? Okay, so the Vampire charged out of this unit into the War Dancers. A total cool guy move. And of course they Shadows Coiled. Not a cool guy move, in my opinion. These white units moved up. The Dragon moved towards the closest unit, so we kind of basically moved around the woods and breath attacked, killed a few archers. The unit of skeletons that were right here in these guys' flank charged into the flank, and they managed to assassinate the level 1 wizard with the Staff of 3 Sisters that has been shutting down my magic phase all game. And they subsequently got killed and crumbled, but that's fine. The assassination attempt was a success. These skeleton horsemen with Fiery Convocation on them decided just to charge in and share the fun with the Glade Riders. So they killed a few Glade Riders. I think they won the combat and the Glade Riders held. And then in the magic phase, the Fiery... I raised 3 more skeleton horsemen back, and then the Fiery Convocation killed 2 skeleton horsemen and 2 or 3 Glade Riders, because it's now randomizing between them. In other news, in this combat, ended up being a tied combat this round. Just 1 wound done to the Blood Dragons. Yeah, that was turn 3. Undead. On to Wood Elf turn 3. Okay, as fun as it was that Fiery Convocation was shared between these units, we realized the spell would have ended because the wizard who had cast it was killed. So we put our models back. All right, so we just had Wood Elf turn 3. So here, the Sisters of the Thorn charged in with a banner of great deeds, killed about 5 and crumbled another 4. In the magic phase, some zombies were raised for some flank support. Over here, the Dragon Rider and Warhawk Champion, I think, killed 2 more Blood Dragon Knights, Vampire Knights. And then the Warhawk Riders were killed, and so just 2 knights versus the dragon now. Over here, the vampire got to fight against the war dancers, and he issued a challenge and fought the war dancer hero. Absolutely smacked him down with utter dominance. And broke the rest, so they fled and he failed to catch them. Let's see. The treemen charged the zombie dragon. Not a lot of wounds were done. The zombie dragon just did 1 wound to the treeman. The treeman failed to connect. And in the magic, so the war dancers charged in here. Killed some skeleton horsemen died, and then in the magic phase, a Gaze of Nagash trimmed down all 3 units by a few models. Okay, so it's Undead turn 4, and it's all over. Casey has conceded, so what happened? The Vampire Lord killed the hero on the dragon, and the dragon broke, so he's fleeing. The zombie dragon, along with some backup from the whites, did a bunch of wounds to the treeman. He fled and was run down by the zombie dragon, who then hit the archers and level 3 mage. And then over here, the skeletons, they have the standard of hellish vigor. They killed 2 of the Sisters of the Thorn, and that's when Casey decided that there was no hope. So, yeah. The Undead have triumphed.